Great. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's your week going so far?
Pretty good. Just ran some errands.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you're getting some things done. I'm having a similar kind of week. Well, I know we had 10 minutes allotted for this call. Does that still work for your schedule?
Yes.
Wonderful. All right. Well, again, my name's Jake. I'm with Gartner for CIOs. I wanted to kind of learn more about what you're doing as your role as a CIO, and then kind of walk you through what Gartner does, and then maybe we can find some solutions that for you. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
Wonderful. All right. Well, could you tell me about kind of the growth you're projecting these next 18 months and what you're doing as CIO?
Yeah. So right now we're definitely in growth mode. I am expecting to work with my team to come out with, good decision making objectives. And so I'll be working with my executive team and my internal IT team as well. Just to, focus on our growth and hopefully generate a lot more revenue for the rest of the company.
Sounds good. Great. Is there anything in particular you're looking at? I know there's a couple different divisions of American Group.
No, we're pretty open, I would say. Right now I haven't been, in this role for too long, and so I'm just hoping to really be able to absorb as much information so that I can, lead my employees.
hmm Definitely. I see you came into the role in 2020. How's that transition been for you?
It's been good. I am definitely liking this role, and it's been an overall pleasant experience. I would say it is a lot of responsibility leading, all of the employees below me. So it's a big role.
Definitely. And I know you're probably looking at different ways you can improve the business. I mean, as a CIO, you're always looking at like digital upscaling. Is there anything in particular you've been looking at or anything you've been researching?
Um, Not necessarily, pretty open, but nothing that comes top of mind right now.
All right. Well, then how about, I know you've been new to this role. Do you have any mentors, anyone you can bounce ideas off of? I mean, I'm sure you must have some sort of network.
Yeah, so I mean, I have my executive team, so the CFO, CEO, COO, CHRO, and on top of that, I do have, my large professional network as well.
Okay. Is there anyone you can reach out to that has previous CIO experience?
Um, I I guess I mean, I feel like that is something that I often look to my predecessor, um, but other than that, not a direct contact.
Okay, definitely. So when you're making decisions and trying to figure out what's going to be the best route for the team, I'm sure you contact your CEO and you talk about it with your team. Um, but what would do you think would happen if you were to make like a poor decision or you didn't have all the right people to talk to make an informed decision? What would that look like for the company?
I mean, I haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'm assuming it would be bad.
Yeah, no worries. Well, okay. Well, I'm glad I know a little bit more about your network. I am also kind of interested about your budget. Do you have a current budget you're looking to spend on technology in these next 18 months or 2 years?
I mean, right now I'm pretty flexible as far as budgeting goes, but if you were to ask the CFO, that would probably be a different story for him.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, well, definitely. I know that technology upgrades are kind of priceless in this day and age, but it's nice to know that there is some flexibility, at least on your end. Do you have?
Yeah, I would say you would have to collaborate with my CFO as well, because ultimately I do make the technology decisions, but it would also have to, have his okay in terms of pricing, because I'm a little bit more lenient on it, but he's not.
Definitely. So if there was any decision to be made, the CFO would have to be involved in it.
I think the CFO would be in conversation. I wouldn't feel confident in just pursuing this further without talking to him first.
Of course. Yeah. Is there anyone else that you would like to include in that conversation?
Pretty much just him.
Okay. That's good to know. Well, thank you. In terms of like your budget and how you like negotiate contracts with new like technology upgrades, or if you're looking to partner with a vendor, do you have experience doing that? And if so, how do you go about negotiating those contracts?
Yeah, I would say I do have experience in, outsourcing and having vendors. But when it comes to negotiating, I mean, if we were to be in a position where we were to negotiate, I wouldn't want to tell you.
Yeah,
That's the whole point of the negotiation.
I know. Well, great. Well, I'm glad I know a little bit more about that then. Perfect. Well, so I see some areas Gartner can definitely help. I'm interested to know if you would like to learn more about what we can do for you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, great. I have a little slideshow. I just wanted to present it real quick. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Great. Let's put it in present mode. Oh, that is the end. All right. Well, like I said, my name is Jake, and this is Gartner for CIOs. Here's my contact information. So yeah, I noticed there was a couple things you talked about as your role as CIO for American Group, and I know you have different facets of your business that operate a little bit differently. So I'm sure there'll be different solutions that can tailor to your needs for those different divisions. So what we do here at Gartner is there's three main components. We allow you to do better research, optimize your budgets, and give you more resources, people who have been in this position. Really what that looks like is our research tools. We have an abundance of these tools that help you, find the kind of vendors you need to make the right technology upgrades. Then when you're looking at your budget or how much you should spend on these vendors, we have tools that allow you to optimize them and make sure that you're getting the best deal. Then when it comes to just general decision making and actually figuring out, what should we do? And I need a live person to talk to. You can be paired with an executive partner that can give you some guidance in that. So I kind of want to go through those things, but do you have any questions about those, or is there anything you're particularly interested in?
The CIO one looks interesting.
Yeah.
Only because of my role, but I mean, yeah, it all seems pretty interesting.
Okay. Well, I would just like to start there if that's really what you're interested in. So really what I know you said you're new to this role. As a CIO, it's important to make the right decisions because I mean, there's millions of dollars on the line, definitely hundreds of thousands. And you don't want to make a mistake that you're going to have to backtrack and lose money and time. So really, with the Gartner package, the CIO executive partner becomes kind of the crown jewel. It's someone you can call to with like monthly questions or just, shoot messages over to and give you advice on decisions to make or kind of what direction you'd like the business to go in. I know you said you don't have anyone or you have some people in your personal network that have CIO experience. Is there anyone you can talk to and have like an ongoing conversation with?
Um, Outside of my executive team now.
Okay. So this executive partner would kind of fill that role. It would be someone in your corner that you'd be able to bounce ideas off of and be someone that has experience in this industry, or at least as a CIO, and can help you like mentor you through the process. And they're there if you need them, and they're there if you're not. So it's really up to you and the amount you would like to use this partner. Do you have any questions about, the executive partner, or would you like to learn more about them?
Yeah. So if these executives aren't part of my internal team, then how can I trust them to give me, quality value advice? They don't know what I am doing, in my role specifically. They don't know anything about my company. And so what value can they really cater towards my needs?
That's a great question. And I mean, it's a very valid concern as well, Ms. Hammond, because, a lot of people don't quite understand what you do in your role as CIO. But really what we do here at Gartner is we try to pair someone with you that has experience in your industry. Most definitely they have experience as a CIO, and most of the time they have much experience outside of, in many different business positions and in many different industries. So these people are going to be well informed on what you do, and you can communicate with them on like what your daily roles are, what you're kind of thinking about, the technologies they have available. And these people also have their networks that they can also pull from. So really, you're essentially doubling your wealth of knowledge with this person. They're able to source their experience and those around them. If you'd like to learn more about that, though, I can get in contact with one of these CIOs and maybe we can set up a meeting where we can talk about the value that they can provide.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, great. Well, so I know you talked about your flexible budget and some of the ways that you're currently going about negotiating them. Would you like to learn more about some of the tools we have to try to negotiate your budget?
Sure.
All right. So, like I said, we have the IT budget tool and the contract review services. So this is a two-pronged approach we take to getting you the best deal. Gartner guarantees that we can get you 20% off on 80% of your contracts. So really, if you're working with $1 million budget, that means $160,000. On top of that, I think your budget was, or your IT expenditures last year were 1.5 million, which would bring it to about $200,000 in savings. So really, this can be an extremely valuable tool to help you save money in the long run. I have an example of what that looks like just to kind of bring it to life. If I can bring it over from my monitor. Oh, I don't think it's coming over here. All right. Well, you can see it in the smaller image down here. That's what I was pulling over. In the leftmost column, you have what you're spending. And in the right, you have the industry or your competitors. And in the farthest right is industry standard. So really what you can see is, if we're spending 2.5% of our revenue on digital upscaling, what are our nearest competitors doing and what's the industry average? You can see that you might be way overpaying for some things and way underpaying. If you're trying to maybe gain a competitive advantage, you start altering your budget to meet those needs. More than that, you can see if these people are spending too much, you have justification to start spending less or negotiating with your vendors, or maybe even negotiate with your CFO to get you that budget you've been wanting. Do you want to learn a little bit more about that? Would you like me to elaborate? How do you feel about the IT budget tools?
No, it looks great.
Okay, well, awesome. Well, so I want to transition to price. I'm sure it's something of interest to you and your CFO. But this is our current pricing structure. It's structured like a phone plan or like a cellular plan. So you have your main user, which would be you, serving as the main person on the cell plan, or in this case, the Gartner plan. And that would cost 50,000 for the first year, increasing by 1.5 every year after, or 51.5 and 53.1 as the years go on. But anyone you add to that plan would be $15,000, increasing by $500. Do you have questions about that?
So ultimately, would this be for the entire like CIO mentorship and all of the other resources?
Yes, this would be the full package. So you would get access to all of our research tools, which I didn't go into depth on, but yeah, our research tools that allow you to basically filter down and continuously cut out all of the flack and get down to the vendors that would actually be really helpful for your IT goals. The IT budget tools and contract negotiation, and the Gartner CIO executive partner. All of that's included with the price.
Okay, and if my CFO doesn't agree with the price, are you guys willing to negotiate with us?
Well, I can definitely open up that conversation. I mean, I wouldn't want to make any guarantees, but we would bring some of our engineers here to see kind of what you're looking to get out of the package. And maybe that's, a conversation we can have.
Sure.
Wonderful.
Sounds good then.
So I know you wanted to have your CFO on the call to make before we make a decision like this, or you'd want to consult them. Would you be down to set up a meeting, say next Monday, and get them on the call as well?
Yeah, I'll see what their calendar looks like, and then I'll add them to our call.
Well, wonderful. So I'll send you over an invite. We can talk more about it then. Before we wrap up, do you have any last questions for me?
No, I think you pretty much covered all the bases. We can continue further, and you can elaborate to our CFO more about budgeting, because ultimately that is his niche and not mine. I'm more of the tech person, and so